sorry, excuse me there, lads. Do you remember I was telling you about the problem that I had with the site, that when I was going back home,
yes,
it wasn't showing the full page. I went through it now. I didn't get on. I was making a video and then it worked, but then again, it didn't work after. It was when I was going back from the blog page to the home page, it wasn't working right. Now I have taken out the blog and it's working perfectly.
Okay. It must be that there was some kind of conflict with with something somewhere, but without seeing it, I don't know for sure. It sounds
I understand. Yeah.
But that's my best guess, just based on what you said.
Yeah, it must have been something on that. Yeah. Thanks for
and
that.
There's some old menus. If you pull in some templates and there's already a menu that's already made, it may be one of the old menus. And those old menus had issues. So if you do pull in a template and it's got a menu, just yank the menu out and do the new menu, and then it should work.
So add a new one. Yeah, that's what I'll try. Yeah, grand job. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the Pixel Perfect Builder. That's our flagship product for Builderall, of course. And honestly, in my opinion, I've never quite seen anything like the Pixel Perfect Builder. It's literally drag and drop functionality. And what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG. You'll hear that a lot, WYSIWYG. But honest to goodness, Builderall is the closest builder I've ever seen to WYSIWYG. Because most of the time when you're building in blocks, and those blocks get kind of tricky. And if you want something that you want in this box and in this box, it's tricky to get it to cross over and be in both boxes and still look nice. You just aren't able to do that very easily. But with Builderall, it literally is, you pull an image and you take it and you go, I want it right there. And I want it to stay right there. And I want it to cross this item and that item and this item. And I want it to be just right where I put it. Don't move it, right there. And that's hard to do when you're working with other builders because they're so blocky. So that's the amazing thing about the Pixel Perfect Builder. It is true drag and drop WYSIWYG. The other thing I like about it is, and this is, I think a lot of people hate this, but I actually love this, that the desktop and the tablet are responsive, which means if you open up a website that's been built on Builderall on the desktop or the tablet, it's going to respond to whatever size your screen is. So if your screen is small, it'll whoop, shrink everything so it's small. If your screen is big, it'll whoop, make it all big so you can see it all real nice and neat. But if you're on a mobile device, it is not responsive. It's what we call adaptive, which means you take whatever you have on the desktop and you adapt it for what you want it to look like on mobile. Does that take some work? Yes, it does. But it is so effective because when you take a big screen desktop view and you try to shrink it down into a little bitty screen, it is like really bad. It's hard to do that because there's so many elements that you have to consider. And then there's so many devices that you have to consider and how each one is set up, that the sheer math to be able to do that effectively is really difficult. And it doesn't always look nice. The only way to do it really effectively is to have that block formation. So they can take the blocks and stack them. But we like our Pixel Perfect. We don't want blocks. We don't want no stinking blocks. So instead of having blocks, we have an adaptive mobile version where you can go in and look at everything that's on your desktop. And you can say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. But I don't need this item and I don't need this item. Because remember, we're building for mobile. We don't want to make it so big that it takes up all their bandwidth for the month because they have to download your site. So we can streamline that mobile version and adapt it to what we want it to have and make it a good user experience for the people that are visiting your website. So to me, that's actually an advantage. Would it be easier if it would just respond? Yeah, we'd have to go back to the blocks again though. Right? So it's kind of a what do you want? Do you want blocks and responsive mobile, or do you want Pixel Perfect and adaptive mobile? And for me, I love Pixel Perfect and adaptive. That's my favorite way they've got it set up, and they've done a fabulous job doing that. So in this course, we won't really spend a whole lot of time adapting for mobile because there are some tips and tricks to it, and it will make you pull out your hair. Tyree is an example of what you look like after you work with the mobile adaptation. I'm just kidding, Tyree. but it is frustrating, but there's lots of videos out there, guys, and you can actually even go to some of the previous boot camps, and we talk a little bit about adapting for mobile. And then I've got some YouTube training videos out there. All you have to do is type in Builderall mobile optimization. Builderall mobile optimization, and you'll find probably dozens of videos on how to adapt for mobile. So keep that in mind. It will get a little tricky, a little hairy, but once you've done it a few times, it's not even hard anymore. You know how to do it, okay? So today, let's go ahead and jump in and play with the Pixel Perfect and find out some really neat things that we can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And I'm gonna go over here to, oops, I popped out. Hold on a second. Goodness gracious. Let me get myself organized here. There we go. All right, you guys, hold on just a second. I clicked the button too fast. All right, I think we're sharing now. So I'll go to my test account right here. There we go. And let me refresh the page. All right, so we'll go into Tabitha's account. And all I'm gonna do is actually open up a new website, and I'm just gonna call it Playground. And I've already kind of got a playground already. So I'm gonna go to My Sites. And here's my site list. This is kind of a new looking site list area. And in the search bar, I'm just gonna type in the word play, and that automatically searches for my websites that have the name Playground. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose this one right here, just the regular old Playground. And I'm gonna click edit. And now this takes us into the playground so that we can actually play a little bit. And all I'm gonna do in this video is, or this training session, is just talk about the Pixel Perfect and all the fun stuff that you can do with it. And this is actually Gabriel and Cristiano's here. This is actually where I did the testing for the list hopping. So you probably will recognize the screen. But let me go ahead and start over here on this side so you can see what all of these things mean. So this first icon on the top right-hand side is called Panel. And this is what we use when we're putting in an e-commerce platform into our website. There's a couple of things that we'll do with e-commerce. The first is create, and that's over here. So you'll do that actually in this area. But then once you create your e-commerce store and set up how it looks, the next step is to click this panel button, and you'll go into the settings where you'll set up your products, your categories, your pricing, your taxes. So that's what this control panel button does, is it takes you to that area where you can set all that up for your store. The next one is the save button. This is your friend. He is your best friend, and he can make you very, very happy. And if you forget about him, he can make you really, really sad. So you always want to make sure that you're clicking save really often, because that's going to save your progress as you're working on your website. And then if something goes wrong, the power goes out, you lose internet connection, something like that, you will minimize the amount that you lose if you're saving often. The next one is preview. And preview is fabulous because it gives you an idea of what your website is looking like as you go. There are a few little things that don't work correctly in preview. Like if you're working with an expandable box, the kind that you click it and it expands up, and then you click it again and it expands down. It doesn't work real good on preview. So let me just suggest that use preview often to check your work, but then also go to the live website and check what you're doing as well, just to kind of make sure everything's looking right in the live website. When you do click preview, you've got a neat little button right here that's a camera. And this camera allows you to take pictures of your screen. It's actually fabulous. And what's the value in taking a picture of your screen, of your website? Well, we've got wonderful mock-ups that we can use in our Builderall websites. And those mock-ups are like pictures of cell phones, pictures of billboards, pictures of computers. And you can take an image of your website and put it right on a computer. So it makes it look like somebody's looking at your website on a computer. Or you can put it up on a billboard to make it look like there's actually a billboard that has your website on it. Or you can put it on a cell phone and make it look like somebody's actually looking at their cell phone at your website. So it's a mock-up, and I'll show you where those are at so you can see. I'm going to go back into the dashboard, and I'll go to apps. And under apps, I will go, nope, I'm not going to go to apps. It's design, and then I'll go to Design Studio. And under Design Studio is where we have all the mock-ups. And so these are the images that you could add a picture of your website to. So right here is a picture of like an office, like a desk. And this blue area is called a mask. And you can capture the image of your website and then put it right there in that area. And it would look like that computer has your website on it. Then you could save that picture and come back into the editor and add it to your website. So it's actually a really neat way to create some mock-ups and make your website look really, really professional by creating your image of your website on that computer. So it's really cool what it can do. So that's the camera functionality when you're in preview mode. So I'm going to go ahead and return to edit. And then the next button I'm going to look at is the grid lines. If I click on that grid line button, you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a grid line. And then over here on the left-hand side, there's a grid line. Let me make my screen a little bit smaller so you can see a little bit better. There we go. So there's a grid line there and a grid line there. There's also a grid line at the top and a grid line at the bottom. So what these are for is to show you exactly where the important areas are of your website. So up here where the grid lines are at, this is the header. Down here, this is the footer. And then here is the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So anything that you want your people to see on your website, you think it's important and they have to see it, they need to be within these grid lines right here. Can you go over the grid lines? You absolutely can. You absolutely can. And I've got a huge monitor on this little laptop I'm on right now. It's like a 17.3-inch monitor on my laptop. And so when I show a website, I will get to see things that are outside in this little white area because my monitor's big. But I also have a little bitty netbook, right? Little bitty, like 7.1-inch screen. So on my netbook, it'll probably only show from this grid line to this grid line because the screen is going to be so small. So always remember that you need to keep the important stuff between the grid lines. It's okay to cross, but make sure that everything that you want the user to see is inside those grid lines. Now, if the grid lines get in the way, you can just click the button again and they go away. If you want them back, you just click it again and they're back. I actually like to keep them active all the time because I have an issue with things being centered and things seeming symmetrical, right? So those grid lines help me to just kind of keep everything even and understand about where my center is. I think I'm hearing some feedback. Let me see. Here we go. Is that better, you guys? A little better. All right. So the grid lines are very important to me because I'm a symmetrical thinker, so I need those on all the time. The next button is the ruler. And if I click ruler, you'll see that on the top right here, there's a ruler that appears. And then on the right-hand side, there's another ruler that appears. This is fabulous because it allows you to actually kind of measure what's happening on your website. And you can measure and say, I want my box this big or this tall. So it's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do, if you'll notice, there's these little guidelines right here. I've got several of them. Let's see, you can click and drag them like this. And then I've got some guidelines over here. Normally when you open this, there are no, but I have played with the guidelines in this site before, so they're here already. But if you just click right on the ruler, you can make as many guidelines as you want to. If you click on the right-hand side on the ruler, you can make as many guidelines as you want to. And these guidelines, you can click and drag them. So you can drag them anywhere you want to. And you can drag these ones here anywhere you want to. And here's the importance of these little guidelines is now you have a way to start organizing your website and making it look nice and neat and very professional. These little guidelines are actually snapped to, which means if I click and drag something and get it close to the grid line, it's going to actually snap to it. So now I have the ability to really line things up. So have you guys ever been to a website and it's not a bad looking site, but there's just something that's off about it? Have you ever seen that? Yeah. Sometimes that thing that's off about it is that you don't have things lined up right. And I know you guys have seen this where you've gone to a website and it might be just a couple of pixels off, right? Just a hair off. So they'll have things stacked, but it'll be just a little bit off. And your head's just going, And it's not, and it's not that you're going to say, oh, I don't like that site because things aren't lined up. That's not what you're thinking, right? You're just thinking, ugh. So it's important, you guys, to really think when you're building things to line things up and make them nice and neat and even. Because if they're not, people will be a little bit uncomfortable when they see your site. I know it sounds weird, but it's the honest to goodness truth. And I'm probably worse than most because I'm a very symmetrical thinker. If you saw my house, you would probably crack up because if I have a shelf, if I have something tall on this side of the shelf, I'm going to have something tall on this side of the shelf. For some reason, my brain thinks if I have something tall and then something short, the shelf might flip over. I have no idea. But it's just the way my brain thinks. And so I'm a little bit, I know, right, Gabriel? So I'm a little bit probably obsessive compulsive about that kind of stuff. So I may not be the perfect person to be giving you this advice. But the reality is that I think everyone has an issue that even if it's just a couple of pixels off, there's something about that site that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And you probably will never identify it as, oh gosh, that picture is 2 pixels off and not lined up with the other picture. It's just a matter of comfort. It also presents you as a professional. I remember I was helping a lady with her website and I was giving her some advice, actually a couple of ladies at the same time. It was funny that it was happening at the same time. But I kept telling them, your items on your website are not lined up. You need to line them up. And so they'd go in and they thought they were lining them up. They really did. They thought they were lining them up. And the other issue that we had was she would have an item here that would be scrunched all the way up. And then the next item, there would be like way more space between them, right? All of that is important to pay attention to. Because if you've got several things lined up, but the spacing in between them is not the same, that's not good, right? Again, that creates a bit of a discomfort for your visitor. So use those guidelines to help you understand the spacing that you got in your site and to be able to even things out so that everything's lined up and you've got equal spacing happening between things so that your site looks more professional, right? We will learn that as we go. You will learn as you go. And there'll be a time that you'll look at some of your old sites and you'll go, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Wow. But use those grid lines. That's going to speed you up, Gabriel. Use those grid lines. They will speed you up and they will help you to get professional faster. And the fact that they're snapped to makes it even easier. David?
While you're talking about that, the new thing that we got there maybe a month, 2 months ago, was the center element.
Oh yeah, love the center element.
That is one of the best. I use it all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
No matter where you are, you can center everything perfectly within that box.
That's right.
That is such a cool tool. While you're at the grid lines and being symmetrical, I think now is the time to mention that, to center the element.
Yep, it absolutely is. Yeah, you can right click any element and it'll there'll be an item on the menu that says center element, and it will automatically center that element based on based on where that element is located. So if it's inside of a box, it will center in the box. If it's on the banner, it will center on the banner. So there's some really neat tools that you can do, and that's one of them. And that helps to make it aesthetically pleasing as well. So once you're done with your grid lines, you actually do not have to keep them on your page. You can actually just right-click each grid line. And when you right-click them, they actually just go away. And you can clean that view up a little bit so you don't have so many. When I'm building, I have a ton of these as I'm lining up my columns and lining up my boxes and stuff like that. And then when I'm done, I just get rid of them. But then if you don't want the ruler there, it's in the way, you can just click the ruler icon again and it takes them away. So it's a real simple thing to use, and definitely get in the habit of using it because it's very effective to help you organize your website.
Center up those two elements there now in the middle. They're not centered.
Yeah, they're real easy. Just click center.
Yeah,
and then,
brilliant.
And then
such cool. Look at that. That is so cool.
Super easy. I love it. The next icons are actually undo and redo. And these are exactly what you think they are. If you do an action and you're like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that, you can click undo. And then if you undo and you're like, ooh, I didn't mean to undo, you can actually do redo and it will re-put it back in there. So undo and redo are exactly what you think they are. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with undo and redo. Sometimes I'll click like undo and it will not do anything. And then sometimes I click undo and it takes me back to maybe the last 5 things I did. So it hasn't been like super effective for me. Maybe about 85% of the time it's effective when I use it. Very rarely do I actually use it. If I mess something up, I'll just delete that item or something and then try again. So I don't really use it a whole lot. The next item is the show hidden elements. When you click that, it pulls up a box. And right now the box is empty because I don't have any hidden elements. But let's say that I wanted to take this text box right here and just hide it for a minute. I can right click it and go to this little eyeball that has a slash in it. And when I click that, it hides it in this box. And then I can just click the icon again and that box goes away. So what's happening now is if I click save and then a visitor comes to my website, they would not see that text box because it's hidden. I can see it inside the show hide elements, but the visitor can't see it at all. They will never know that that text was actually there. And you can use this for many different things, right? You can hide things to get them out of your way so you can build your website, maybe put things in there and move stuff around and then bring this thing back. You can hide things that are information about your website. I actually I always on the homepage hide the colors that I want to use for my website. So I just create a box, put the colors in there, put the IDs of the colors, and then take that whole box with everything in there and hide it so that every time I go to that website, if I can't remember the exact code that I need for my colors, I can show that hidden item and it will show me all of my colors. So that's one of the ways that I actually use this particular feature. Another thing that you can do is when you get to the mobile version, so if I click over here to mobile, these items right here, I may not want to show this item on the mobile version, so I can hide it and it won't show on the mobile version at all. So there's lots of neat tricks you can do with this show hide. And then once you click it again and you want to bring it back, you can actually just click the little arrow and it will put it back exactly where it was in the moment that you hit it. And then
sorry for interrupting.
Oh, go ahead.
Apologies. While we're here now, you see the way you have Shelley's new home, you probably know this, but a very handy little thing that I just found probably by mistake. When you're in that box, see the box is highlighted, Shelley's new homepage is highlighted. Just use your arrow key up and down.
Oh, yeah,
on the desktop. It's very, very handy if you want to get into tight little spots and line it up with your grid line. Okay, they attach to the grid line as well, but if you're not using it, you can just use it by the arrow key up and down and right and left. It's pretty cool.
And that's a really good tool, David, because what it's doing is it's moving it pixel by pixel. Yeah. And this is the thing that will make the difference in that the aesthetics of your website. When you look and see that you're just a couple pixels off, it is hard to grab it by the mouse and just use it move it a couple pixels. So if you're doing the arrows, it does it ever so slightly, right? Ever so slightly. so that you can move it just that tiny bit that you need to get it lined up correctly. So you're right, the arrows are a fabulous tool to use. Once we do show hide, this box, sometimes you forget how to get rid of it. So how to get rid of it is you just click the show hide again and it will get rid of it. So you click it to turn it on and then you click it to turn it off. Okay, I see a lot of people that message me and say, how do I get the show hide box to go away? You just click that icon again. The next one is backlight, and this one doesn't have a whole lot of value on the actual desktop version, but it is fabulous for when you're editing for mobile. So all I did was click the mobile view, and you can see that the mobile frame is white, and then we have the background of white. So you can imagine if you're doing some editing that this would be really like, you'd become like white blind, right? Like, golly, it's too bright. So the backlight actually helps you with that. If you click it one time, it actually changes that background to black, or sorry, gray, so that you can see the outline of the mobile better, and you can actually work a little bit better. So that makes you see everything way clearer. If that gray is just too harsh, you can click backlight again, and it does a little bit lighter gray, not quite as harsh. And then if you want to go back, you can go to the white again, and you're back to where you started. So that's the backlight feature, and it's tremendously valuable when you're working in the tablet view. So you can backlight that one, or you're working in the mobile view. Either one of those, it kind of helps to bring everything forward so you can work on it better. The next one is the change border button. Now, if I click on Shelly's homepage, you can see that my border is green, right? And that's important. I need to know where the border is of all of my elements. If I click this one, I can see where the border is of that element as well. And I can see when I'm lining them up, if they're going to be close to each other, far from each other. That's an important thing to be considering when I'm building my website. But there may be a time in the background of my website that it's almost the same color as the border. You can imagine how challenging it would be if my background was green and then the border was green as well. I wouldn't be able to see the borders. So I can actually do this change border and change the color of the border. So I'm going to click it one time, and you can see now that it's changed that border to a blue. Okay. And that might be easier to see based on the background color. If I don't like the blue, I can click change again, and it will go to like a dark gray. And if that dark gray is not clear enough, you can click it again, and it goes to a super duper light gray. I'm not sure you can see that, but it is super duper light. And then if none of that works, you can click it again and go all the way back to the green. So all this does is cycle through a bunch of colors for your borders so that you can see those borders way better. So that's the function of that particular button. And then you can keep clicking through, and it will take you all the way back to the green. So it doesn't mess you up and take it away. It just goes in full circle all the way back. The next area is a drop-down menu, and it shows all of my layouts and pages in this website. And you can see I've got a couple of layouts, and I've got several pages. And in those, in this particular menu, if I click any of these pages, I'll actually go straight to those pages. So this is a way for me to navigate around my website real quickly by just clicking the down arrow and then choosing the page that I want to go to. And I can go back and forth between pages super duper quickly. All of that's possible right here using this menu. So I've gone through all of these menu items. Let me stop sharing a minute and see if you have any questions about what we've covered so far. All good? Good, yay. Nobody's sleeping yet, that's good. Tyree's taking notes.
See, it's no harm to do this all the time, just to put it into your brain, and it'll right. Become a second thought. I think
that's right.
Well done, great.
Absolutely. All right, let's go. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
On the website.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Davida?
How do you get to the camera on the website?
All you do is click preview, and then once you click preview, that camera appears. Okay, super easy. And what it's doing is it's going to the preview so you don't have all those box borders and stuff. So you have a clean, pristine view of your website so you can take a nice camera picture, screenshot. Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, right here on the left-hand side at the top, another menu area. The first one is desktop, and that's what you're seeing right now. We're in desktop mode, and we are working on the way this website looks on the desktop. So everything we do here affects what the desktop looks like. And then the next button is tablet. If I click that, we can edit the tablet view, and we can make sure that it looks exactly like what we want it to look. Now, by default, the tablet view is typically turned off. At some point, I've probably turned it on and just haven't turned it off. So let me look at your eyeballs and make sure you know this. So if you have the tablet view off, okay, you're not working on the tablet view, then tablet's going to be responsive. Whatever you have on the desktop, it's going to shrink it for the tablet. If you have the tablet view on, that means you don't want it to have the desktop look. You want to make it whatever you want it to be. Okay. My suggestion is, because it's so much easier, that you just turn the tablet off. And by default, I think it's off, but I'm going to show you how to turn it off if it isn't. So let's jump in there and take a look. All right. So if I want the tablet view off and I just want desktop view to show on the tablet, all I do is go to the double gears right here, and I go to website settings. And when I do that, one of the very first boxes is tablet mode setting. And I'm going to set that to no. And then I'm going to click this little save. And once I do that, the tablet icon is gone. It is no longer there. So now I cannot edit the tablet view because it is set to be responsive. It's going to show the desktop view. It's just going to shrink it down some. So that's what you can do to make it as easy as possible to edit your website. Okay. So the next icon is the mobile version. And if I click that, this gives me the ability to edit my mobile version. And here's one of the tools that makes it so much easier, this little wrench tool. If I click the wrench, it's going to take all of the elements that I have on my desktop, and I can choose to take all of them and have it put them on the mobile view for me and adjust them to do its best to make it look like the desktop. Okay. And my favorite right here is the copy desktop. When you click that, it just takes everything on the desktop and tries really hard to move it over to the mobile. It's not always completely successful. So sometimes you'll have to do a little bit of editing, a little bit of moving around, taking some things out, putting some things in, making that mobile view exactly what you want it to be. But it is made easier by these buttons. Once you got everything moved in, you can actually then just save it, and there's your mobile view. Now, I wish I could say this was easy peasy, nice and breezy, but it's not. You're going to have to work at it. You're going to spend a bunch of time building your desktop view, and then you spend a little bit of time creating your mobile view. Remember, you're adapting it from the desktop version. So it's going to take a little bit to edit. But like I've said before, once you get the hang of it and understand kind of the ins and outs of how to do it, it really goes fast. You can have it done quickly, and it's exactly what you want for your mobile. Somebody got a question? Nope. Okay.
Yeah. Do you suggest that when you work in the, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Do you suggest that when we work in the mobile view, to use that feature to hide things that we don't want to appear in the mobile? So that way in the future, if we need it, we can bring it back or something?
Yes, I absolutely suggest you do that. And I think that in the mobile view, it's actually automatically set to do that. So if I click here where it says Shelly's new homepage and I click delete, it actually sent it to the show hide. It won't let you delete them because you need those elements for the desktop. So it will tell you that you can't.
So it's not. So if I click delete, it sends it that I don't even have to mess with that. Great idea.
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. That really helps things a lot for sure. It speeds things up because if you delete it, remember this element right here is tied to the desktop. It's the same element as what's on the desktop. So if I delete it, I'm deleting it from the desktop too, and we definitely don't want that. So they've set it up so that it automatically goes into show hide instead of being deleted, which is fabulous. Then we've got another button right here. This is Unable Drop, and I'm going to explain what that is looking at your eyeballs. Unable Drop is a neat feature that we're using on the mobile device where when you build a website, there's layers of stuff. You have the banner, then you can have a box, then you can have a couple images. And so there's layers of stuff as you're building this website. And when you get to the mobile view and you have to start doing the math that's involved to be able to show these things, and you talk about the layers that have to be calculated to put it in the exact right place, it can actually be a pretty daunting job to display it correctly. So what happens is we take these things and we smush them down and we put them into like one layer. So we kind of create an image out of all of it, and that's called a drop. And so they're dropping it down into one layer and then putting it onto your mobile as a one layer image. And that speeds up loading. It does a lot of great things to help it display correctly. So it's just something that they have put in there. It's by default, it's on. And if you click it, you'll turn it off. My suggestion, don't click it. Don't click it at all. That's one of those that's that mystery button that's sitting there. And like Dennis the Menace would push the button, right? You guys don't push the button. Just leave it exactly as it is, and it will do its fabulous job of taking that stuff, scrunching it down into an image, and then showing it on the mobile. And it will load really, really quickly. Okay, so that's what that button is. It's kind of a tricky button. That one should have a little sign that says, don't click me unless you know what you're doing. And then we're going to start over here on the left-hand side, and we'll do the menu items here. This is probably where you'll spend most of your time in the Pixel Perfect is on this menu. So this first item is the page icon. And if I click it, it's going to show me all the layouts that I have in this website. And you can see on this one, I have 3 layouts. So what's a layout? All a layout is a collection of pages. That's all it is a collection of pages. So it's like a bucket, and inside the bucket, there's pages. So there's the layout number 1 bucket, and inside that bucket, there's some website pages. There's a store bucket, and inside that bucket, there's some pages. And then there's Gabriel's layout, and inside Gabriel's layout bucket, there's some pages, okay? Every single one of these layouts is just like a bucket, and inside the bucket, there's pages. Now, this is the important thing to remember, is every single page inside of a layout is gonna have the same header and the same footer. That's the important idea behind a layout. So if I go into this layout, I'm going to just click the arrow. You can see that I've got all kinds of pages, and all of these pages inside this layout have the same header and the same footer. Now this starts to be really important when you talk about navigating through your website and being able to get from page to page, or even from layout to layout, because you'll put menus usually in the header. And remember, those menus that you put in the header, every single page would get that menu, right? So you need to be thinking about how it impacts your web pages, putting web pages in certain layouts, because you need to be thinking about the headers and footers and what those pages need, okay? So I'm gonna go back to layout. There's my 3 layouts here. If I click the arrow, the first thing I see is a bunch of buttons right here. These affect the entire layout. So whatever you do, you're going to be affecting the layout. So these buttons are, right here, we've got the remove layout. If you click that, you're going to delete the entire layout. The second one is change background. If you click here and change the background, it's going to change the background of all of the pages in this layout. Right here, you've got font customization, where you can start creating groups of fonts that you want to use for your layout. This is similar if you've ever done Cascade styling sheets, where you set up the font ahead of time, and then you can just grab them and use them because you've already set them up. So you don't have to keep formatting your font every time to the ones that you want. You just set it up ahead of time. The next button is the layout settings. This is where you're going to go in and set up the name of your layout. You're going to set up a description. There's all kinds of things you can do. Here's that screen right here. And let's talk about what you can do with the layout settings. So first one, you can set up a favicon. A favicon is, if you take a look here at the top of my screen where I've got Facebook, and you see that little symbol for Facebook right there, that is a favicon. You can create your own favicon and upload it here, and it will show on the tab just like this. And I'll show you an example of one that I did. Social media explosion, I think maybe. Let's see if that'll load. Nope, not that one. I think Builderall Bootcamps has one. So it's loading on the tab, and there's that favicon right there. So it's actually just a picture of the octopus that's sitting in a chair and like flames all around him. So that is the favicon. So you can change your favicon and make it anything you want to for your website. I think I've got another one right here. Let me show you. Let's see. Travel.builderall.com. This one I think has like a coconut or something. Let me see if it'll load. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. There we go. So you can see on this tab, it's really little, but it's like a little coconut glass with a little umbrella. So it's really, really tiny. But those are the favicons you can do. You can make them anything you want. You just upload the picture right there. Then you've got the title of the layout. And the title of the layout is going to appear in the tab. So if you look at this tab right here, the first part of it says Builderall Vacation. That's what the layout name is for the page that I'm on, is Builderall Vacation. So that is the title of the page, okay? Then we put a description in there. The title and the description are SEO sensitive. The keywords are SEO sensitive, so it's gonna help you in ranking. Then you've got an area for meta tags for your layout. You've got an area to put your Facebook pixel script so that you can be tracking the people that come to your website. You've got an area for analytics script, like something like Google Analytics. And then there's another script area. If you've just got some scripts that you need to add to your website and they need to be added to the header of your website, then you can actually put those right there. And then the last part is the Mailing Boss integration. That's going to allow you to integrate some really neat features about Mailing Boss. One of them that you guys know about already, which were the videos that I created on how to list hop. So those that ID right there, that integration key, is actually still left over from when I did the training on list hopping. So there's a lot of neat features that you can handle just in setting up your layout settings. So I'll go to return. And the last button here on layout settings is the little padlock. This padlock enables you to protect your layout so that only people that are allowed permission to get into that layout. So these are great to create membership areas, e-learning type areas, courses. If you want to deliver things like on a monthly basis or a weekly basis or something like that, you can do like a membership type site. This is a fabulous way to lock down a layout so that the only way to get in is if you've given them permission or if they've purchased something from you and they get access to that area. And all of it's automated, so you can actually set it up so it all happens where you don't have to go in and approve people. It actually is approved automatically by the way you set it up. So that is a fabulous way to set up little member areas or courses. So those are the layout settings. So now if I go down here and look at my pages, you can see that all of my pages here, I've got a lot of them, are listed. I can check mark this box right here, and it will put them in alphabetical order for me. Or I hate alphabetical order, so I'm going to uncheck it. And now I can click and drag these and put them in any order I want to. So I can just click and drag and put them in any order. And this is important because as we work in sales funnels and we build sales funnels, you're going to want to see these things in the order that they're going in your funnel. So as you organize your pages, you'll probably do a little bit of click and dragging to put those pages visibly in the order you want them in as you're building your funnel. So that's the value of being able to organize these pages, is you can actually really see what you're building. It's still kind of one-dimensional, of course, but it helps when you're building. So you'll definitely want to try out that feature of being able to drag and drop those pages in the order that you want. And now if we look at the pages in general, each of these pages have a little gear on the right-hand side. If I click that gear, it actually allows me to change the settings on the page. Remember before we were changing all the stuff on the layout, which means every page in the layout. Now we can go in and edit just the things for the page. So I've got some buttons here. The red one is the trash can. I can delete this. The second one is change background. And again, you can change the background of this page and only this page. Remember when we were looking at the layout settings, we had this same button, but if you click it, you're going to change the background of all pages, not just this page. So here, if we click this button, it's only changing this page. The next one is the conversion. And hang on just a second. I'm going to see if I can mute. Here we go. Great. Great. There we go. I think I got it. All right. So the next one is the blue little chart-like button. This is conversion test. This is what allows you to set up A/B split testing. You can do some click analytics. So if you've got some buttons that people are clicking and you want to see which button works best, you can actually do some click analytics and see what's happening with your buttons. So there's a lot of neat stuff you can do with the analytics area right here. My favorite, of course, is the A/B split testing. So you can really hone in on what pages are working best for your marketing efforts. The next button is the transfer page. This allows you to move a page from one layout to the next. It's really super easy to do, but I want you to remember one thing about it, and that is whatever you move that page to, it will get the header and footer of that page. So if you don't want to lose the header and footer for a page, you don't need to transfer it to another layout, okay? That's the most important thing to remember about transfer. The next button is duplicate, and this allows you to copy a page and then use that page again over and over and over. I actually do that on the Builderall boot camps. I have pages that are pre-made as a template, and then all I do is copy the page and then use it to change a few things, to add the video, to add the homework, and to add the instructions at the end. All that kind of stuff is added, but the page itself is already made and there, so all I do is copy it. So it makes it really, really easy. For e-learning situation where you're building a course, I would definitely pre-build each of the lesson pages and then just copy it each time and then change it accordingly. That makes it really easy. The next button is configure pop-up. This allows you to set up a pop-up for your website so that you can inform people about something. You can set up a sign-up form. You can do a short video. I mean, there's whatever you can do on a page, you can set up in the pop-up. And also on the pop-up, you can set it up to pop up immediately. It can pop up within a certain amount of time. So say you don't want it to show until maybe a minute in, you can set that up. You can make it pop up based on scrolling, where if they scroll down to a certain point, then it's going to pop up. Or you can pop it up based on just an amount of time. So there's lots of neat stuff that you can do with pop-ups.
Excuse me, Shelley.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
On that pop-up, that would be the same feature like when we go to builderallbootcamps.com, where it says subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
That would be that same, would that be that same feature?
Yep, let's take a look at it. So I'm going to refresh and see if I can get it to pop up. Come on, baby, you can do it.
It usually pops up every time. There we go.
There it is. Yeah, I think I had it for like 10 seconds. But yeah, there's a subscribe pop-up, and then they can click the button to subscribe, and it makes it super easy. So that's just an example of how you can use the pop-up. Okay? And
you said that we can put a video in that same spot on that pop-up?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It's actually just like a page, Tyree. So anything you can add to the page as far as elements, you can actually add it to the pop-up as well. The next area is name. So you want to do the name of your page, and then the address. And the address is important to remember, no spaces. The internet does not like spaces in any URLs. So don't put any spaces in there. Then you've got the title of the page. And remember when we looked at this little Builderall vacation right here, if we look at the tab, the first part of it is Builderall vacation. Then there's a little pipe symbol. and then it says travel with Builderall. So what it's doing is the layout name is Builderall Vacation, and then the page title is Travel with Builderall. So it takes the layout name and the page title and puts it together to make up the tab. So again, that's really important because you want to make sure these tabs are customized. And right here, we've got the Builderall boot camps. If you look at it and hover over the tab, the layout name is Builderall. The page name is boot camps. So that's what's showing on my tab. So you can see now I can customize my tab by putting my own favicon on there and putting the exact names of the layouts and the pages that I want to appear on the tab. That's a lot of control. I love it. And remember that the name, the address, and the title are all SEO sensitive, along with the description. And then, of course, you've got keywords that you can work on as well. Then this particular area shows you what your tab is going to look like. So right now, my layout name is number 1. And my layout name is layout number 1. And then I don't have a title. So let's put a title in there. So I'm going to put a title of Shelly is awesome. And now that I have a title in there, if I go down to this area and click update, you can see now that it put the page title in there. So my tab would look like layout number 1, pipe symbol, Shelly is awesome. That's what my tab would look like right now. So this gives you an idea of what your tab will look like. Then the next area is share image. And you can upload an image that you will share on Facebook. So I want to just kind of show you how this works. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to my profile. And I'm going to type in social media explosion.com. And I'm going to put the HTTP. There we go. So what it's going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to try to find Social Media Explosion, and it's going to pull back the share picture that I had. Let me redo it. We'll just cancel, try it again. Social Media Explosion.com. All right, and I'm going to click post. Let's see what it does. And it should be pulling a picture back, and it started to. I probably messed it up. Let me delete this one and try again. The poor people on my Facebook are going, what on earth is she doing? There we go. So socialmediaexplosion.com. And what it does is it goes out to Social Media Explosion, and it takes a look at what you've just typed in there, and it looks for whatever share image that you put in the website, and it's going to pull the share image back. And it's making me like a total liar. So let me try it again. We'll do it with the complete, fully qualified domain name and see if that works. There we go. We got it now. So what it's done is I put that website in there. It's gone back and pulled the picture that I have for that particular website. That's the share image. So that image is the image that I put right there. So anytime I share this page, it's going to pull that image. Now, obviously, I need to do a little bit of editing because it's a little bit too tall. So I'd have to go back in there and kind of stretch that down a little bit, make it a little bit shorter for it to be effective. But you can see that you can add that share image for any page you want to. This is on the page settings. So every single page, you can put a share image on there. The next one is page head scripts. So if you've got a script that needs to go on the page head area of your website, then you would put that script right here. And then, of course, we've got Mailing Boss reference tag. This is part of that cool thing that I did the other day with the training on how to list hop. And it helps to do a lot of neat things with Mailing Boss. So those are the page settings. Let's go ahead and go back. And remember that we've got layouts, which is a collection of pages. Then we click this arrow and we go to all of our pages. We can edit our layout stuff right here. If we want to edit page stuff, we just click the gear on the page, and now we can add page stuff. So that is where you're going to spend a lot of time in the beginning, is on your page icon, setting up your pages. The next button is
Shirley.
text. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The profile.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Willie. I'm sorry.
The profile that you was talking about on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I said that the profile on Facebook, I had an issue with it. I couldn't find it. I mean, that's part of this chat bot.
Mm-hmm.
And can you explain to how you can get to that profile that you just previously talked about?
Well,
the profile.
Whenever you work with a chat bot, you're not going to be able to attach it to your profile. A chat bot only connects to a Facebook page. That's it. It will not go on your profile. It will not go in a group. It only goes on a page.
So how do you connect it to the page then? Can you just show that briefly?
Well, not in this training. I can't show it in this training. I'm so sorry. That's one that I can't show you. But
well, I'm just saying the way the guy explained it is saying it will not work unless you can connect it to your profile.
Well, it actually goes. It's connected to your Facebook account. It's not affected. It's not connected to your profile. It's connected to your Facebook account, but you need to work on it in a page, not your profile. So you can't go to my personal profile and go into my chat bot. You can only go into my pages that I create, and then you'll see my chat bot. Okay?
Is there a tutorial explaining how to do that?
There are. You're absolutely correct. There are tutorials. All you need to do is go into the Builderall community. So if you go into the Builderall dashboard, and on the left-hand side, you'll see a link that's called Builderall Community. And it's one of the first videos that shows in that list of training. It's the chatbot training by Wasili, and he shows how you connect your chatbot.
Can you just send me that link? Or, I mean, it's real. I know I'm giving you
I'll put it in there real quick. Hold on.
Okay,
Let me share and I'll show you where it's at. So if I go down here and go to Builderall Business, and then I go down to Business Community. So if I click that right there, it's going to take me into that area. And then right there is Wasili's training. But I will take this and copy the link and put it in here for you, so you can have the direct link.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's in the chat area. I'd love to take the time to show you how to do that, Willie, but it's way off track of working with the sales funnels. Okay.
Well, you did. You gave me the link to go find it, so it's no problem.
Good, fantastic.
Thanks.
And that training should help you a lot.
No
problem. Okay.
It's not a problem.
All right, let's keep going, you guys. We'll go back into the editor, and let me go back right here and explain what this is. The T is for text. And if I click on it, it's going to open a really interesting window right here that shows me the standard text that I want to use for my website. So again, if you've ever worked with CSS, Cascade Styling Sheets, you've been like an HTML programmer, you'll know what this is all about. And that is setting up your text before you ever start building your website. So what text do you want to use that are the standard text that you're okay with using for your website, so that you have consistency all the way through? Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but there have been some websites I've been on where they use 65 different fonts. And again, that's one of those things, guys, that even though you may not be able to point it out and say, yeah, I didn't like that website because they use 65 fonts, you will say, I wasn't really comfortable on that website. So you need to standardize your fonts and use the same fonts throughout, and not 65. You can use just a few. And you'll standardize those fonts right here. So every time you pull an H1 type of font, then this is what that font will look like on desktop. And this is what it'll look like on mobile. Every time you pull an H2 font, this is what it'll look like on desktop, and this is what it will look like on mobile. Okay, so you can see that I have a lot of power in standardizing my font. So then all I do is pull it, and it does exactly what I want it to do. So let's see what happens if I click on this first one, the H1. If I look at Shelly's new homepage, you can see that it is that font. right? It's that exact font. But what if I want to change it? What if I don't want it that one? So I'm going to click on here, and now I have the ability to change it on the desktop and the mobile view. So I think all I'll do is maybe change the color to red, and then okay. And then I'll make sure that my font color is black for the mobile. So now every time I'm on desktop view and I pull an H1 font, this is what it's going to look like. And also I want you to notice it changed it right here. So if you've got throughout your website where you've chosen H1 and then you change it on the main settings, it will change it everywhere in your website. Okay, that's really important to remember.
Excuse me, Shelley.
Go ahead.
I do have a question. Like, I noticed you said that wherever you have that, it's going to look the same on each page. But if, say, for instance, if I'm on a different page and I want it to be another color, can I go into that page there and change just that page color, or is it still going to affect all the other?
You can change it. I want you to notice that's a really good question. If I just make a copy of this and I want to change the copy of this, I don't want it. I do not want it the standard one. I want to make it special. So I can click inside of here, and then right here I've got a button that says use new style. So I can click that button. I can choose a different font, a different size, and I can change the color. So let's just change this color to black. And see, now I've changed that, but it's only that one element. This one stays the same.
And then from there, I can delete the one that I didn't want, and then the one that I created, I can put it in that place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jelly is awesome.
Thank you so much. The next button that we'll go through is the plus button. This is where, honestly, 95% of the time you're going to be. If I click the plus button, these are all the elements that we can add to our website. So we've got the ability to add pop-ups, to add our text elements, and our text elements are formatted by that T, so don't forget that. And then auto funnel tags. This is a fabulous thing to work with, is auto funnel tags. And I think I did do training on that one as well. We've got banners, we've got boxes and lines, buttons, images, image galleries, we've got menus, audio, video, social stuff, social media stuff, contact forms, email marketing forms, animated counters, apps that we can use, all kinds of apps that we can use. We've got hover elements, timers, we've got checkout capability, sales funnels, which we're going to play with, and then blog apps. So if you make a blog, you can actually put some little tools and elements in there from your blog. So tons and tons of stuff. And this stuff, guys, let me look at your eyeballs. Just that part of the apps took us about 3 months to go through in certified partner training. Just that part. There's so much functionality in that area. It is stunning what you can do. So what do I suggest? Number one, when certified partner comes around, sign up, because it will rock your world. And number two, if you don't want to wait, just start clicking and playing. Create your playground website and start clicking and playing in there and actually figure out what all's there. And there's training videos for so much of it. If you have the app name, so you might do like Builderall pop-ups, and you'll see on YouTube that a bazillion videos will pop up on how to do pop-ups on Builderall. So all of it has training videos. All of it's there. You can go into the back office, and in your training and tutorial area, there's tons of tutorials there. How do I know this? Because I made a whole lot of them. So I am not kidding when I tell you there's a lot of them. But they're fabulous. So definitely check the tutorials and training area. They're not all mine. There's a bunch that are done by other people, and they're fabulous. No matter who did them, they're fabulous because Builderall is fabulous. But then if you don't find what you need, jump on YouTube, do a simple search, and you'll find what you need on YouTube as well. So let me go back and share my screen. The next button is the double gears. And in the double gears, we have settings and SEO. The first one is PR configuration. Let me go ahead and mute here. Hang on a second. There we go. Fabulous. So the GDPR stuff is what allows you to be compliant for the European nations on your website. And there's several things that need to be done, like having a notice pop up that says, hey, did you look at our privacy policy? Are you aware of such and such, whatever? And then you click out of it. This is a big deal if you are working with anybody that's in the European nation. Configuration is easy, and I've done a whole series on how to do GDPR for your website. So you can check that training out in the training area. Then you can build a sitemap for your website, which is good for Google indexing. And then website settings, we kind of looked at that already. The website settings allow you to turn tablet mode on and off, mobile mode on and off. You can scale for mobile devices, which means that the scaling is it takes the big version and shrinks it down for you to help you make it the right size for the mobile version. And then this is the next big thing that you need to look at is reply email. It's set automatically to ebusinessforus.com. But if you have an email that you want to use, that when this system sends out automated emails, they can reply back to you. You can replace this email with your email. And then if they get an email from the website, like they had an abandoned cart or they bought something or they joined as a member, all of those things are website related. You can change this email so that when they get the email, they can reply back to you and it will come to you instead of going to this address, okay? The app language is English. And then remember we talked about these little tabs and how it shows the layout name first and then the page title. Well, right here, you can change that. It's set up for layout and page title, but I can set it up to go page layout. Or I can have it show just the layout or just the page. I actually I really like layout page, so I keep it that. And then the separator. So when I hover over this tab, the separator is a little pipe symbol. But if you don't want that symbol, you can click a dash or a squiggle. So you can choose which separator you want between the layout name and the page title name. And then the mobile tab color. When you're working on the mobile version of this, you can actually make it so that the tab color, which is the area at the top, actually has a specific color. I just leave mine default. I don't actually ever change it. If you do ever change these settings, you just go to the little save and then go to the big save to make sure that they're all saved. The next one is user management. So if you have someone that actually registers on your website, you can manage those people that have registered using user management. And then, oh, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I did have a question about the last section you were in when you had mentioned about the emails, and you said it goes to that e-business. Now I know we can put our personal email in there, but I now know that, but I didn't know that at first. So when it goes to that e-business email account, is there any way we check that?
No, this is just the company default account, and nobody's checking it and nobody's looking at it. So it's just going to stay out there in cyberspace forever.
So that's one of the things we should change immediately before we publish the site.
Yeah, and here's how it works. Let me make sure you understand what this is, because it's kind of tricky. You have to think through it a minute. But what it is let's say that I have a membership area set up, and they've purchased access to that membership area through my website. So they've set up an account, and the website has automated emails that go out. This is not part of Mailing Boss. It's actually part of the website. And it will send out an email that says, congratulations, you are now a member of blah, 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 blah. And let's say the person has a question and they hit reply. This is the email that's going to show up when they hit reply. Okay?
Okay.
So you want that to be your email if you want to receive emails.
Definitely changes it.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've gone through the user management. And remember, guys, that when you create a membership area, your users are going to get access to that area based on how you want them to get access. So they can get access free. They can get access by registering and confirming their email address. They can get access if they buy a product. There's several different ways that you can give them access. But when you go into user management, it will show all of the membership areas that you have, and you can manually give them access or manually take away access. So you'll do that in the user management area. And why is this important? Because when we go through sales funnels, I'm going to show you how to set up membership sites so that at the end of the sales funnel, when they're done, they can go into a membership site to access their product. And you want to be able to know how to manage those users, because you're going to every once in a while get a message that says, oh my gosh, I bought your product, but I can't get into the site to be able to get the product. It says access denied. If it's access denied, then you go make sure they really bought it. That's step one. And then step two, you go into user management and you can manually give them access based on the fact that you did the research, they did buy it, so you're going to go ahead and give them access. Okay, so that's in the user management area. The next one is manage user registration fields. When you have someone register for your site, the default information it collects is the person's name and their email address. You can actually add more fields if you want to. You can collect a phone number, a WhatsApp number, a physical mailing address, your wife's name, your children's name, your birth date, whatever you want to collect. It's all done here in registration fields. And then we have the ability to do coupons so that if you create a checkout, you can actually create coupons for your users to entice them to be able to purchase your product. And then action counters are the anything that has an action on it. So if you right click an item and it says action on the menu, okay? If it has action on the menu, you're able to work with action counters and it will count how many times that action has occurred. So if you want the action to be a click, then when they click it, it'll collect how many times it's clicked and you can actually watch that action happen. So it's actually really cool to be able to track what's happening with your website and look at some basic analytics of what's happening. So that's the double gears area. The next one is the shopping bag. If I click the shopping bag, this is our checkout stuff and what we can do when we're setting up products to be able to sell.
Shelley's
So the actual payment process. Oh, sorry.
We lost you for a second there, Shelley.
Sorry about that. So I went into the payment manager. It was my face like really swollen, like. But yeah. But I was in payment manager. This is what I wanted to definitely point out to you is when you are working in a sales funnel, you're going to have to test, especially if you're selling a product through that sales funnel, right? So what I would suggest to you, if you don't have this already, is make sure you have 2 PayPal accounts, because one PayPal account is going to be where you receive the money. The other PayPal account is where you're going to pay for the product. You cannot pay for the product and receive the money in the same account. So anytime you test a funnel, you're going to have 2 PayPal accounts. Okay. So in this process that we're going through with the sales funnel, you're going to be doing some testing. So if you don't have 2 accounts already, you're going to need 2 accounts. Okay. All right. So I'm in the checkout area, and this is where I set up my payment processor to receive payments. The second one, sales manager, is where I'm going to manage all my sales. And when you click in there, if you've made any sales through your website, it will actually keep that record for you and you'll see that information. Then manage automated emails. That's the automated email system inside your website builder. And these are the emails that are like abandoned cart, congratulations, you made a successful purchase, those kinds of things. So you can manage those emails and edit those emails right here. Then you've got manage external platform emails. So if you want to use an external platform to handle your website-based emails, you can actually do that here. Sales funnels, we'll be working in this area together. This is what allows you to set up your sales funnels and do upsells and downsells. And then manage coupons. We may do coupons in here if we have time, okay? The next area is the blog area. If I click on that, it actually allows me to add a blog, which I've already done on this website. Typically, you only see one button, which says add blog. But once you add a blog, then you get these new pages that it's created, or these new functionalities that it's created, and it creates pages in the background for you. So using these buttons, I can actually manage my blog, how it looks, how it's set up on the page. I can do my blog articles here. There's a lot I can do just in this area to manage my blog. So that's the blog settings. And again, adding a blog is so easy. You just click one button and it does all the work in the background to add that blog for you.
Excuse me, Shelley.
Go ahead.
On that one, this is probably a question I haven't asked because I always ask the question because I have people that's going to be watching this training. Now, when you do add that blog, that means you're adding it from where it was already loaded into the site, not when you connect to the site. Am I correct?
Well, what this is it's creating a blog on this website. So let me show you what it's done, Tyree, to kind of give you an example. If I go to the pages icon, and I think it's in my layout. I think I added it to the layout. Do you see those blue buttons right there? Or sorry, yes. Blue pages? Yes, those are the blog pages. It added those pages for me automatically when I click that button that says add blog. So it's creating the blog in this website.
Okay. I have two other questions that was asked to me, so give me a chance to get announced. The first question was, will that blog have a home page like a blog site has a home page? Would that blog have a home page?
If they wanted, let me look at your eyeballs because that's a really interesting question. The home page that I have right now is set up as just a page for the home of the whole website, right? If I wanted the blog to be the home page, I could set that as the home page. But is that the first page you want them to go for that domain? That's the main question. Is that if I say ShelleyTurner.com and I want the blog page to be the home page, the very first page they go to, I can set that for that. Or I can just set it as inside the website, and then on a menu, I have the word blog, and they click blog and they go to the blog.
Okay.
I'm not sure you really want to have the blog as the homepage because that's what WordPress was built on. And it's, and most of like Wealthy Affiliate and all of those who use WordPress as their base to build their platform, it's really not professional looking.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what you're trying to do, actually, because if the blog is just a piece of a bigger website, right, then the blog goes in the menu. If the blog is the website, then yeah, it can be the homepage.
Right. And that was my next question, because I know that we can have a blog, not use that, but have a blog and just put a link to that to connect it and have a view of that blog platform right there. Because the question that came to me when I was working with someone setting up is that the blog in that site, they wanted to know how that blog would look. If it had a home page, or would that website page be the home page and also be the view of the blog?
And now it can be either one. Right. You can set it as their homepage, or they can have a different homepage with a link to the blog. So it really is whatever they want.
And the other thing,
with Davida, that it's not, if you've got a full website and the blog is just a piece of it, then you don't want the blog as the homepage. But if the blog is the website, right, you are building a website that is just a blog, and people do that, then the blog would be fine as the homepage.
Right. And the other thing that they asked me, I know that a blog, when you're just using a blog as a page, a blog site, it had each page had its own different link. So it was asked to me in that site right there, and you're using a blog that's already loaded in that site, would each blog page have its own link? Like we can, can we make will each blog that's published have its own link, or would it just be a thread?
Each blog entry, each article that you put in will have its own link. But it's interesting how the blog is set up, because it is just one page. But when they click to go to that article, what it is almost like an affiliate link. So it goes to that one page that's like a template page, but it adds that little affiliate type link at the end, so it knows to pull in that article to show on that page.
Great. And I also told them they couldn't ask me any more questions. I didn't want to answer any more questions. Attend the boot camp training, or wait until we have the boot camp training for the blog?
Yeah, the blog boot camp is going to be great because there's so many people that want to do a blog, right? And there's so many full round features of this blog that it is absolutely fabulous. Now, I do want to answer one more piece of that question about the page for the blog. Remember that it's a single page that uses almost like an affiliate system to pull in the correct article, right? So let's say that you wanted individual pages, like I want an actual page. So I've got 52 entries. I want 52 pages. You can do that too. You can designate that a blog is assigned to a page, but it's going to get bulky, right? Once you do that, It's going to start getting bulky. So if there's a reason to do it, you can do it. Like say you wanted to use a specific blog entry and get a good link to it that has at the tail end a good name, not just a XYZ 1234556.45, right? You want an actual name, like this is an awesome blog entry that you must watch. You can set that up so you have that special link based on words that you want in there. You can do that. But I don't think with the blog system, I don't think I'd want to do that too much unless you are seriously trying to do some SEO stuff.
Well, thank you for answering this because the platform that my group came from was a blogging platform that no longer exists. So having a site like Builderall that gives you the option to do both, that can be not saying overwhelming, but overthink because you have so much you can do. And you're answering questions that give a direction to what we should do versus what we want to do and how much time and effort it can save us so that we can generate that energy into what's proper and not.
And I'm glad you said it that way, Tyree, because the way it's set up now with that single page and then kind of the ID, right? You don't have 50,000 pages for every single blog article. That's huge, especially for somebody new, because when you're working on a website, if you go in and open a layout and all of a sudden it's page, and they're trying to remember what blog entry am I looking for? Do I have to edit it? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes with when you create new pages for every single blog entry. So for the basic beginner person that just wants to create a blog, then I wouldn't worry about creating individual pages for the blog entries. I would leave the system the way it is and let it work the way it needs to work because it works beautifully.
Yes, thank you.
I think Gabriel wanted to say something too.
Yeah, along the same topics. I mean, I'm trying to kill 10 birds with one stone.
That's a lot of ricochet in there.
Because, I mean, if it's possible, so that way I know what to concentrate on with the blog. For SEO purposes, I mean, what's the best way to tackle it? Is it okay to just have the unique domain go straight to the blog or go to the opt-in page, funnel, and have the link on the top to go to the blog? And then based on what you just mentioned, in the previous answers, since I'm going to have different topics in the blog, is it okay to write, the article and for SEO link juice to have work from home / check this website now.com or see Builderall? Just have that SEO keyword title, keyword phrase in there. Make sense? And
I think honestly,
then I'm gonna make it like you said. It's gonna be humongous. What's gonna happen? Go down?
I think honestly, the way I would do it is I would definitely make sure that my layout was SEO optimized. So on those layout settings, you've got the name of the layout, the description, the keywords. So optimize there. And then on every single page, optimize for your keywords. And then that's a good start. And honestly, for a blog, if you're just starting, I don't think I would tell anybody to create individual pages because the SEO that's going to happen on the layout and the page is really good. And then if you optimize by putting the titles on your images and then making sure you've got your H1 tag and all the things that you need for SEO optimization, then I think that the individual pages would be so bulky because you've got other things that you want to spend time on to make money, right? So I think that it would be fine to actually let it do that single page and let it pull that ID, because everything else has been optimized. So I don't think it's going to give a ton of juice for you to have 50,000 pages keyword optimized when you already got your layout and the main pages of your site optimized. Does that make sense?
So every time I go back to my blog and write another article, another topic, what do I add? Do I add another page, another URL? That's where I'm confused.
Oh, no. You'll just go into the manage blog area and it will open up where all your articles are, and you'll just add a new article there.
Oh, and then that's fine, right? Because I keep adding. It's not going to make it bulky, right?
That's exactly right.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's not adding pages. It's not adding pages. It's adding the article.
Okay.
And then that single page that, you remember when we looked at there's 2 blue pages. Right? There's one page that lists all the articles. There's a second page that lists one article, but it's just a template page. And when you create those articles, each article has an idea. So when they pull the template page, it's going to, and they click read more, right? They see the list of articles on the other page and they click read more. It takes them to that single page, but there's an ID that they got when they click that read more. And that ID actually identifies what article it's supposed to pull in.
And the website, when I create it, it creates it automatically for me. I don't have to. Oh,
That's
okay. Right. Wow.
Yeah, it is a wow. It's a big wow.
Hat on, because that worked for me too right now. So
while we're talking about that, I put my helmet on because this is helmet time, right? Like this is exactly what you're saying there, Gabriel, right? Is what I was saying earlier on with my blog, and it wouldn't go back to the homepage. And then since I took out that piece, I find now that there is a page there left. The sort of the blog, the blog with all the posts on it, right? I've taken that out, but the post that I put in is still there on the site. It's very weird. I have to go back and figure it out now, and that's my next job. When I take this off,
So just to summarize everything while we just went over, the better way it would be to just use my URL for the opt-in page and then have the link on the top. If they want to go and check me out and check more information, just click on the blog. That would be the ideal suggestion you're saying, right?
Yeah, and we'll go way more into depth when we do the boot camp, and I'll show you lots of neat stuff that you can do with the blog. Okay. Karen.
Okay, first of all, if you can remember off the top of your head, when is the blog boot camp? Because I really
I don't remember, but we'll take a look. Let me share my screen and we'll take a look together.
Okay. And if we can move it to the next one, that'd be awesome.
I'm sure we'll move it, but it's set for July 1st through the 7th. But I'm sure I won't move it because everything is pretty much written in stone now. I hate to say that, but preparation wise, I set that up that way so that I could make sure I was ready.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, Shelly, if you can move that around.
I know. Look, every single boot camp, all of them, I've had people go, wait, I need that one first. Can you move that one? Can you push that one out and move that one? So yeah, but there's a specific, I went through very carefully and planned those out. So we will do the blog first, but I promise it's going to be kick butt training because I'm really good with the blog.
We'll all be away on holidays at that stage in July.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have to do the replays.
I'll be here. Okay, so that was my first question. And I did see that it was very well laid out for chronological, logically done. So you did an amazing job on that. I wanted to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
And I knew you'd say no because of the way it was written out. It's like, well, she's too smart. She already did the hard work. So that was one thing. But the way I need my site and my blog, I've kind of got a dual website going. It's a professional side and a personal side. Within the blog, I will have about 8 to 10 subjects or different subjects on each of these blogs. Would you recommend I make subject. I mean, because they're very different, like mindset versus health versus, credit repair. I mean, real different things. So should I have a page for each of those? Because if I keep doing articles, I could add 4 articles in one day, and now it's going to get kind of clunky on that page, and then they're seeing things that are completely unrelated. On the other hand, I kind of like that idea because now it's triggering them to look at other things. So
let's take a look at what we can do. Let me go into Builderall 365. So this is one of the websites I created, and it's got a blog attached. So give it just a second to load because my computer is being really slow. But what I've done with it is I've created a blog. Don't hate me because I haven't kept it up to date. It's been a while since I've posted in there. But there are categories that we can set up when we do our blog. And we have these really neat blog tools where we can grab the categories and actually put them like on a sidebar or something like that. So, and this is not loading. It's being very particular. Come on, you can load, you can load, you can load.
I'm trying to load it on my end. It doesn't load, so.
Yeah, it may be an issue. Builderall may be having some issues right now. So we'll pretend like you can see it. So all of you guys say, wow, what a great site, Shelly. But what it is when you go to the blog.
I got it now. It shows up.
Oh, did you? Okay. Let me see if it's shown on mine. No, mine's still searching. So apparently there's probably some DNS issues. But anyway, do you want to share, Gabriel? Would you like to share your screen? Oh, there it is. All right, so on this page, I just put a link to the blog. So if you go all the way to the top and click the blog button, it'll take you to the blog. And it may take a minute to load because the menu has to load too. So it's having trouble loading everything.
It doesn't let me click it.
Yeah. I think we're having issues with Builderall. So anyway, let me stop, go ahead and stop sharing, and I'll just kind of talk you through it, okay? So on that blog, when you go to the actual blog page, there's the blog, but then on the side, there's a little sidebar. And on that sidebar, I actually put a list of my categories. So what you're talking about, you can make sure that every single one of your blog entries have a category that they apply to. And then you can put that category in the sidebar. It's just one of the little tools you can use. And then they can say, I want to go to only the blog entries that are about health. I want to go only to the blog entries that are about mindset. So you can actually immediately start sorting and separating, and they can go exactly where they want to go. Does that help?
Okay. Yes. And so keep it all on that page. Just use those as your keywords. And then when they get into that, they're just going to see those articles.
Right. There's way more ways to do it.
I know there's tags and other secondary categories, and I'll play with all that. I know that that's on July. But wow.
Right. But there's way more ways to do it, Karen. There's categories, there's tags. Right. You can create little bitty app elements and show only articles on a page that are associated with mindset. There's so many ways you can do it that you're not going to be limited. It's just a matter of getting in there and learning how to do it. Right. But all of those features are there, so you can start to separate those articles out, show only the ones that you want to show, and even have them choose what they want to see. So you can do all of them. You can only do mindset ones. You can only do money ones. It depends on the categories and the tags that you set up, but it's all you're able to do just about anything you want. So that idea of shortening that list to only focus on one type of category, you can absolutely do that.
Okay, so you would recommend keeping them all still on one page, not a page per category.
That page is going to be there no matter what. Okay. But on the menu at the top, if you want to say mindset, right? And when you click that area mindset, it takes you to a page where you put in a little blog app that has only the articles about mindset. So
Wow.
you can send them to a page that has everything or a page that has just mindset.
Like that?
Yeah, and that's right there. Thank you so much. So the blog categories, for me, since I'm doing, this is for my team, so they can click graphics and it will only take them to the blog articles that have graphics on them. And that's it. The site that we're on now shows everything. I don't have to send them to this page though. I can send them to a page that only has the articles that are about graphics. And I can put that on the menu instead of just the general blog link. So there's so much I can do to make it so they can go all around and find exactly the articles that they need, and you can break them up. And it's all based on categories and tags.
So if I send out an email, I wrote this piece of blog right here, piece of article with Jim Rohn, and I want to send out an email to everyone and say, hey, go check out this post or whatever. This is a new article. I'll just click on this, copy the link in here and put that in my email. Is that how it works?
That's exactly it.
All right.
Yep, that's it.
Right.
And see, for me, Shelly, this is important for me because, like, when I do have someone, like we in the sales funnel boot camp. When someone opts into the sales funnel boot camp, I'm going to be sending different blog posts from time to time on the broadcast, or either I might use my blogs as in an email sequence instead of just writing an email. So understanding this, it makes a big difference for me and my team for this sales funnel boot camp.
Good. And I'll show you one more thing just to kind of ease your mind on how easy it is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And when I go into the HTML editor, remember we talked about you're going to spend a lot of time in that plus button. Even with blogs, you will. Because if I go to the plus button and then I go down here to the bottom, these are blog apps. So these are the elements that I can use to add to any page in Builderall that I build. So if I click that, remember that I've already attached my blog. So I've got a blog on this website. So now I can add cloud tags, and these are the tags that I've offered. I can add that category list. That's exactly what we saw on that 365 site. I can add a search window so we can actually search our articles. I can add a date filter. So I can actually say, I want to only see the articles that were written in April. And then another date filter, that's a drop down. I can do a news slider. This allows me to, on any page, not just a blog page, but any page, I can add this element and then set it up so that it slides news articles or new articles that I created. I can do a news feed. This allows me to, on any page, add a news feed and then say, I want to only pull the news from these categories. I want to only pull the articles that have this tag. So you can, again, start to really customize the way your everything looks. And then you've got the news feed or RSS feed. Your blog gets an RSS feed that somebody else can use to add to their website. So you get more juice. And then you've got a news gallery. So you can actually set this up on any page so that you can say, I only want the mindset articles to show on this page. So you can see that these elements alone help you to break apart your blog, and you can start building individual pages for each category if you want to. And so you can have a mindset page, make it all pretty, and then have only mindset articles in there. So there's so much power in the blog. So does that help a little bit, Karen? Okay.
Google loves it. Google loves blogs.
Yeah. I have another question that you just brought to mind. Say, for instance, we have this page that normally an opt-in page that someone would opt in on. Now, considering that we have different links, affiliate links for Builderall, you know, like the 7-day boot camp and those other different links. On that opt-in page at the bottom, you just showed where we can add that. We have a little scroll button that can scroll from blog to blog or something like that. Would it be sensible to put an opt-in page and have a little scroll like that? Or could it be done where we had a little scroll like that and have each affiliate link that Builderall gives us for them to choose what they want to know about?
I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it as an image gallery. We have that capability in the image gallery. So you can actually take images. So you can create an image that says, join Tyree now. And it's a clickable image. So when it scrolls by and it says join Tyree now, they click it and they go to where you want it to go. And then it might scroll by again and say Builderall is the most awesome tool ever. Click here to join now. So you're creating images that will slide. I definitely do it that way instead of a blog article.
And I can link any one of those links, because I know we have a lot of different links in the back office. I looked at that and I was trying to figure out, I know I can use each one individually, but at the same time, I was wondering how I can have it to where people have options on, just one page with different options for whatever may fit their desire. So,
that's just a matter of buttons, Tyree. Okay. Just create buttons for each option, and then or even an image, and you can attach a link to an image. So it's really up to you what you want it to look like, and then anything that has an action on it. So if you right click it and go to action, that means it's clickable and you can make it a link to go to a website.
Okay, great, because I was thinking of ways to get the most out of our sales funnels. So this is one way that I know I can get multiple use out of different sales funnels and give people options. So, because I want to have one page where they have options, like one sales funnel, an optimal sales funnel where they can have options. So you just help me understand
how. Here's the thing about options, though. Let me talk about that just a minute. When we talk about a sales funnel, remember that we are talking about a path that we want them to go, right? And so we want them to have very limited options in a sales funnel.
Okay.
Because we don't want them to jump out of the sales funnel.
Gotcha.
So as we're building sales funnels, what we're trying to remember is I want my customer to go here, then I want him to go here, then I want him to go here. And you don't want to make it so if they hit here, they can then choose, do you want to go here, 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 here? Sales funnel, it's really important to remember that we're building something that we want a clear path that they go to. We are conditioning them. Like when we talked about the goldfish training kit, we were conditioning that goldfish. We are conditioning them to go the exact direction we want them to go.
Well,
that's the whole idea of a sales funnel.
You just saved me from sabotage, because I was thinking about having a slider so they can pick or choose whatever sales funnel they want. That would have just messed up everything. So thank you. Just saved me. Thank you.
Still kind of do that as maybe an entry point to a sales funnel. But once you get in a sales funnel, the whole idea is to get them going the direction you want them to go.
Thank you.
Okay.
So wouldn't that be a distraction to have the blog link on the top of that, whatever, opt-in page? How would I do
opt-in pages? It's and
or sales funnel, whatever you call it, because I'm trying to figure out where to put my blog link without being a distraction, but also be, connect.
Be there, right? Opt-in page, no, because you want them to opt in.
Right.
You don't want them to click the blog. You want them to opt in.
Sales funnel.
Whatever your main page is, like after you've gotten their name and their email, and now you're telling them more about you. So whatever your main page is, that after you've gotten their information, that's where you put your blog. Okay. And then you can allow them to jump around. Okay?
Great.
Make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. All right, guys. So we talked about all of these buttons, the blog. The last one is the shopping cart. And remember, the shopping cart is actually tied to this button, the very first one we looked at, which is the panel button. So here in the shopping cart, if I click it, it normally has just a button that says add store, but I've already added a store here. So it's created a couple of new buttons for me to manage my store. So I can go in there and manage the way it looks, the way it feels, the colors, the design, everything is done here. And then once I'm done with the design part, then I'm going to go all the way over here to this panel button. And I'm going to click that to be able to manage my products, categories, prices, taxes, shipping, all that stuff I'll manage in the C panel area. So appearance here, and then products here. And those two work together, definitely. So that's all of the items that I wanted to show you. One more thing that I want to make sure you understand is that when we talk about our pages and we talk about the page structure, remember we've got the header, we've got the body, and we've got the footer down here below. When you're in a layout, every single page has the same header and the same footer, but the body of the page can be individualized, right? So if I go to a different layout, I can have a different header and a different footer. This is important to remember because you may have pages do not want the same layout set up. So to give you an example, let's say that, Gabriel, you were making a website and you created a blog. And you wanted the blog to have a bit of a different header than all of your other pages. To do that, you just put your blog in a different layout. Okay? Make sense? That's important to remember. It's a lot of people get caught up with how do we manage these headers and footers? It's very hard. And that's one of, I think, the biggest challenges is managing the headers and footers and making sure you understand that every page in a layout is going to have the same header and the same footer. So if you want a different header and a different footer, you got to make a different layout. Okay.
Can we create, if I have multiple websites, is there a way I could just create my headers and footers and keep it in, here's my storage. And then here's, I'm creating this website right now. Let me grab my headers and footers and then edit them and boom, just get it done. And then next time I create another site, I still have it. Go here, pick them up, implement them, edit it, boom, you know, because it's a different domain.
You absolutely can. And the way you can do that is to create the simple, maybe one-page website where you create the exact header and footer that you want. And then when you create a new website, you just go to add a layout and then choose from your existing layouts that you have already. And you pull that one in and it'll be ready to go.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I use that actually for my legal pages. I have pre-templatized my legal pages and put them in a layout. And then when I go to create a new site, I don't have to do all the mess with the legal pages. I just go and add a new layout, pull in my legal pages layout, and my legal pages are ready to go.
Right. Saves a lot of time.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions, you guys? Really good questions today. I love it. Love it.
I still have a few more questions. I don't know if you still have time.
Yeah, I do. I have a bit of time. Go ahead.
And the deliverability with Mailing Boss, is there a limit on the, first of all, on the number of contacts to have stored in Mailing Boss? Number one question. Yeah. And the second question on there, is it compatible or is it better than GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, you know, all these other platforms out there?
First of all, the subscribers, you have unlimited subscribers, I believe, on the $29.90 plan and the $49.90 plan. The $9.90, I believe, has a limit of 100 subscribers, maybe. And then on deliverability, the deliverability is there, but you need to work on, whenever you join any new autoresponder, probably the biggest thing that's going to happen now is you're going to have to work on reputation, where you earn points for when emails are delivered, when they're open, when links are clicked. And those points will dictate whether you get into the inbox or the spam. And when you're new, it's a brand new email. You just don't have any reputation yet. So you have to build up your reputation to make sure you're getting into the inbox. And that it doesn't take a lot of time, but it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah,
so you might see in the beginning.
Cleaning the list, I guess, you know, so managing the list of subscribers. Right. Is there like different IP addresses that we're using with Mailing Boss, or can we upgrade for deliverability, for speed and stuff like that, or no?
No, it's all baked in there. You don't have any IP addresses that you need to worry about or anything like that. It's all baked in there. And deliverability, I think, has been vastly improved. When we first started, it was not good, but they've done a lot to work with the platform and make deliverability better. And now I get a great deliverability rate. Using Inbox Path and cleaning my list helps, because then when I put them into Mailing Boss, they're good, clean, valid emails. and they go straight to the people. And then I also, again, it's about conditioning. You want to put in there something about make sure to whitelist this email so you continue to get great information from us. And then you give them instructions on how to whitelist, and that helps your reputation and helps deliverability as well.
Right. All right. Here's a quick question I got to ask you about. I'm not sure if it's done. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Do you see how this is moving, the layout here, and then underneath? Can we do this through Builderall?
Yeah, like we absolutely can. Yeah, that's done with banners, and we've got the overlay
like that. I like that kind of layout. I love it.
It's really cool, and that's done in the banner settings.
So it can be done through banners, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, great. And then
you'll see the banners and the parallax effect is what it is.
Is it called what?
Parallax.
Parallax effect. All right. And then on the images, the templates that is in the Builderall, can we use the images and the from the templates, or that's copyrighted? They're copyrighted.
No, you can use those images. Those are free for you to use. And if you find images that you like in the templates, just look at the live version and then use that Galleryify. It's a Google Chrome extension, and Galleryify will allow you to download images off of any website. And when you do that, it'll capture those images from that template, and you can choose which ones you want to download to your computer.
Yeah, but thank you for bringing that up, because I heard you on a different call about this. So if we use Galleryify and grab images from different sites, I mean, aren't they copyrighted and stuff?
Yeah, different. If they're not Builderall sites, yes. Don't take pictures from other people's sites.
Oh, you're talking about Builderall
templates. Yeah, any of the templates that are in Builderall, those are all fair game. And if you find a template that you like the pictures in, but don't necessarily like the template, you can just look at the live version of the template and then open Galleryify and pull whatever images you want off.
Oh, okay, I see. And then with the videos and images to keep the website optimized or load fast, do you suggest to host the videos and images on a different site?
No. Upload them to Builderall and let Builderall compress them. Because automatically when you upload an image to Builderall, it's compressing the file to make it small. So it's already helping you save space. You've got your 10 gigabytes. So it's helping you save that space. And then since it's hosted on Builderall, it'll get it faster.
And then with e-learning, I heard you on a different training is that okay to, it's okay to upload the videos in Builderall, right? In the e-learning section, right?
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if it's an hour video?
Correct.
Okay, because I'm trying to crop the videos and make them smaller, to put them in different, topics and stuff, so, and they should make it's not going to slow down the site. That's my fear.
Well, it's for e-learning. So, I mean, inherently, it's going to have to load the videos, but I've got quite a few sites, e-learning, that have a lot of videos, and it doesn't seem to really slow it down.
Okay. Yeah.
Not as much as that one website I created where I put about 200 videos up there that really, really slowed it down. But I don't have any e-learning that's 200 videos.
Wow. No, I'm not going to have 200 videos. It's probably going to be, I mean, it depends on how I crop it, and make it, smaller, but, probably had 10, 20 videos on there,
Yep. But, I remember there's a program out there, I think it's called Handbrake, and it will take videos and make them smaller for you. Handbrake.
Yeah. I heard of it too, but I'm trying to keep up with this and categorize everything.
I know, right? Welcome to my world where I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Thank you for the list hopping tutorials. That was great stuff. I mean, unbelievable. You made it all so clear.
Oh, good. Was I clearly medicated?
No, you sounded pretty good. I don't know. It was because I watched you at 10 o'clock at night, and maybe I was.
I have not gone back and watched it, so I don't really. I watched like one video. I just kind of had it running in the background, so I was kind of listening to it. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, Shelly. Yeah.
And the only thing on there that was part of the question was that to cover that button. But you already explained that in a different train, the previous day training. So I got that, so.
Good deal. Fabulous. Fabulous. Roberto, did you have a question?
And you tell me what that Galleria 5 is?
Yeah. Let me type it in here. Galleria 5.
Shannon, when you get through, before you go, I have one other question before we go, because I know time may be running out.
Okay, great. Roberto, if you go to the Google web store, the Google Chrome web store, and just type in the word Galleria-Fi, I actually typed it in the chat just now. It will find that extension. And what it does is it allows you to go to any website and bring their images onto your computer. So if you find an image that you like, you can actually download it. Now, don't just go to anybody's, website and get their stuff. But what I use it for is the Builderall templates, because there's been many, many times I've seen many templates where I didn't really like the template, but I love the images that were in there. I was like, oh, I need that. So I open it when you go to the template view and it says edit or view, just click view and then open Galleria-Fi and you can download any of the images that are on that template.
So Galleria-Fi is like an extension that you add to the Chrome?
That's right.
browser.
It's a Google Chrome extension. That's exactly it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tyreek?
Oh, yeah. Real quickly, adding on to that, what Roberta was talking about, when we do have that, that's one of those you recommended that we turn it off until we use it. Am I right?
Yes, that's exactly right. I always go to my Google Chrome extensions and turn off everything that's not a standard thing that I use, because these things will run, and some of them are potential risks, right, for viruses or malware. And the other thing is that if you have them all running, that means when you open Google, it's going to say start to all these extensions, and your computer is just going to wig out. It's going to be just like, so turn them off so they're not running, and only turn them on when you need them, and then turn them back off.
Okay. One other thing concerning links I know on our websites or blog sites or whatever, we can have with domain names. We can have up to 15 with Builderall. Then after that, that's an additional charge. Mm-hmm. But also with each domain name, we can have unlimited domain.
Subdomains.
Right, subdomains. Right. Thank you. That would be the, and that would be. Would that be the same feature or the same rule as applying to sales funnels?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. I can have as many sales funnels as I want. I don't even have to put a subdomain name on them if I don't want to. Because remember, Builderall gives you a slug name. So you can do that. You can do that. It depends on, what do you want to look professional? Slug name doesn't look professional, right?
Right.
So a subdomain is a lot more professional. A main domain is very professional. So you just kind of have to think about how you want it all to look. And if you've got sales funnels, say multiple sales funnels in a niche area, then subdomains are fine because you're focusing on that niche area. So you may want healthcare.shellyturner.com, dietcare.shellyturner.com. So it's going to all be niche related. And so when you put that in, it just makes sense that that's the subdomain for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Because that was a question.
We're on this subject about links, etc., right? With your slug, like the Builderall slug. Are they still working on a shortener for that?
Right now, the shortener is still in there. It's still the Google shortener, but
right, okay.
Yeah, but they will have one once that one goes away.
That'll be cool. That'll be brilliant. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Shelly, yes. I asked you this once, but I need to ask you again.
Okay.
I have my domain, which is design your web, something like that. I wanted to look it up. But with that domain, I have all of the affiliate links, the business links added to. Is there any way that I can add an extra page? For instance, those website design price list that I sent you, can I add it to that domain as well?
You can add it as a subdomain.
Couldn't I do like the domain builderall.com/price list?
No, because the main domain is connected, if I'm understanding right, to your affiliate links.
Yes.
So that main domain is now off limits for building a website on it. So now the only option you have to build a website on that domain is as a subdomain.
How can I do that as a subdomain?
Just build your website, and then when you go in to connect the domain, instead of typing the main domain name, you type in all the subdomain name. So if your main domain, ShellyTurner.com, is connected to your affiliate links, you create a website, and then when you go to connect the domain, say blog.ShellyTurner.com, and then that will connect that website to blog.ShellyTurner.com.
Okay, so I need to actually enter the name before the domain and the domain.
Yes. And then you hit save, and it will tell you that you have to do some DNS stuff, but you don't, because you've already pointed the name servers towards Builderall. So it's all set. So a subdomain is seriously only just typing in the subdomain name and clicking save, and you're good to go.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for subdomains, since I'm trying to create multiple avatars on my main domain, then what should I put on the main domain? Because the avatar, if they see workfromhome.com, right? And I say Gabriel.workfromhome.com, maybe they get smart and it's like, oh, let me just go straight to workfromhome.com. And now they get all sidetracked. So they're not going to use they're not going to opt in or whatever. Do I get them sidetracked, or what do you suggest?
I don't suggest anything. People are not that smart.
No.
Some are, but not everybody. And just make sure on your main domain, so if they do like workfromhome.com and they do go to that site, that there's something on there that will try to lead them back to maybe a different funnel or something like that. So make your main domain, so if they do end up being sneaky about it and trying to look at the main domain, that you still have something on that main domain to send them to a funnel or send them to an opt-in or send them to something. So that's the best solution, because people are just going to be, they're just going to be who they're going to be. Right. And if they're ones that go to a subdomain and they're like, I'll just check out the main domain, that's okay. Just set up your main domain, so you kind of encourage them to sign up anyway.
Because there's no way for them to know that, hey, contractor.workfromhome.com, whatever, .workfromhome, and then mothers.workfromhome. They cannot think of the mothers.
Right. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they
are. There, but like, okay, let me just, I forgot, what was that domain? They're going to forget the mothers, and they're going to go straight to work from home. And now they're on my main page where, you know what I mean? I got to have something there. So keep it generic, I guess, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just keep it, I would say work from home, keep it generic, but still have a way that they can opt in. So even if they get to that page and it's really generic, you can still have an opt-in form somewhere on the page where at least you're getting them to join your list. It may not be targeted so that it's mothers, or it's truckers, or it's doctors, right? But at least you got it.
Right. And then the subdomains, because I'm trying to create different opt-in pages for each niche. And then it should be the keyword .domain. That's for that particular. It shouldn't be domain/mothers, correct?
Right.
Right. That's a subdomain, because that's why it's called. Right. Okay, I got it. Okay. Thank you.
You do got it.
Question on this. Well, how does Google like subdomains? I never really thought they do. Yeah. Will you still get a bit of juice from the main domain?
Yeah, you will.
That's cool. You see that?
Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, go ahead, Simone.
I have a question related to the DNS. Is it correct to use the NS1 and 2 for websites, and the NS3 and 4 for the funnels that we use in the affiliate?
No, the NS1 and NS2, those are name servers, and those are used when you're connecting to like a specific server where your website's going to be hosted. So if you're using like the North American server, and what that means is, like, I'm in North America. Most of my traffic is going to come from North America. So my server probably needs to be in North America. So I would choose that server to be able to serve up my website or deliver my website to the visitor. And that requires NS1 and NS2. Okay. It's going to point towards the name servers, point towards
local servers, huh?
Yeah.
Local servers then. And then you have the worldwide
right.
one.
The CDN.
Use the NS3 and 4.
That's it. That's where you're going to use the NS3 and 4. The CDN servers are the worldwide servers. And what that means is we've got servers everywhere, right? Everywhere around the world. And they have a copy of your website on all of those servers. So that means that if I have someone connect in Africa, they will find the closest server to them, and that server will give them a copy of my website. Great. Whereas if I had chosen the North American servers and someone from Africa joined or tried to get my website, they said www.shellyturner.com, they'd have to come all the way to North America, get a copy of it, and then it goes all the way back to Africa to give it to the visitor.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Gabriel?
And yeah, on the so once I changed my MX records from GoDaddy, I pointed to Builderall, and now since I'm creating all these subdomains, right, etc., I don't have to do anything else anymore, correct?
No, because those name servers are the records for that entire domain. Okay. So everything you do for that domain is pointed towards Builderall.
And then when I create for each subdomain, should I create in Mailing Boss a different list? And then do I have to do anything there anymore? Or
you can, it's totally up to you. That's a whole different beast is Mailing Boss. If you want a subdomain and then an opt-in form going to a different list for every single one of your websites, you can do that. It is totally up to you.
So, but I don't have to touch anything anymore, right? Because I already changed the MX records and I pointed to Builderall, and that you said that it's all already connected, right?
Right, and it's not the MX records; it's the name server records.
Or
the name servers. The name is pointing towards Builderall, so that everything that has your domain name, email, website, everything, all of it's pointed towards Builderall. So that means Builderall is handling everything to deliver up information about your website.
All right. So I think I'm Shelly, the more I hear you, the more I love you.
And don't forget, it's all for one price, nothing extra. Like everything you do on that free one, it's all extra money.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah.
I was carrying one last couple of meetings that I'm going to send you flowers, but I'm going to find you. I will send you flowers.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, I just love being here.
Jack Daniels would be better than flowers, wouldn't it?
I think Karen might have a question.
No, because then she's going to tell me to send the MX records to some other site, you know, and she's really going to be...
Nope. Karen, what you got?
Okay. I'm sorry, I had to take a call from my doctor, so you may have gone over this.
No worries.
When you were back on the list, all of a sudden, now I can't think of it, Mailing Boss? Mailing Boss, like in Monkey, all the other servers, they'll tell you like who clicked on what, you know, who opened it, who clicked, who didn't open it, whatever. They'll give you all that data. Is Mailing Boss doing that now?
Mailing Boss has really limited analytics. You can see like how many people opened, how many people clicked the link, but you can't go in specifically and say, I want to see if Shelly clicked this link. You can't see that. As we continue to improve Mailing Boss, we'll get more of that information. There's a huge update coming out. I don't have an ETA because it's a big one, but we're talking about adding CRM, Customer Relationship Management.
Oh, I'm still waiting for that.
Yep, that's huge.
So waiting for that. And
yeah, I'm excited just because that gives you more flexibility in capturing data and then processing that data. So I can't wait to see it and dig into it. But I'm sure with that is going to come some different analytics as well. So that we can see more stuff happening on our list. So it's coming. I don't know when, I don't know how much, but it's coming.
Okay. yeah, I wondered if there would be an add-on for that feature or not for the cost.
Well, whatever they add to Mailing Boss, it will be included in your specific platform. If you're in the $49.90 plan, you're going to get it, and there will not be any extra cost.
Oh, okay.
My thoughts were, I don't know exactly like what we're going to get, right? Like I haven't seen the screenshots. I haven't seen the analytics part of it. All of that's still a mystery to me. So I'm kind of waiting to see what they're going to add and what they're going to allow us to do with the CRM, because you can get a real watered down CRM.
Yes, there's a huge variation in CRM.
But then you can get like full functioning CRM.
Right.
And I don't know which we're going to get because I haven't seen even any mock-ups or anything yet. So as soon
that's unfortunate.
As soon as I get that though, I definitely share. I'm like, you'll see it in my face, right? You'll see it like, yeah, it's coming. Or you'll see, oh my God, it's coming.
So there's nothing to times 3. There's nothing to times 3 yet, right? So
nothing to times 3 yet. Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet.
Great, got it.
Not yet.
I remember you saying, multiple
I
times.
know. I'm not sure Eric likes that though. I'm not sure Eric likes that.
That's okay. Hey, I'd rather be I'd rather be prepared. So the other part of this is you've mentioned a few times on these trainings that Builderall is acting up right now, or it's not being friendly. And I know some of that has to do with the fact that you're sharing screens, you've got other people on here, you're bringing in YouTube, you're recording. You are recording this, by the way, right?
I am. You are live and in person.
So recording and all that kind of thing does slow down your bandwidth and all, and makes things be more temperamental. Like he was able to bring it up, but you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that it's not working sometimes, how reliable is Builderall as a platform or as a hosting company that our sites are going to be up?
Yeah, the industry standard is 99.9% uptime, right?
Okay.
That's the industry standard. And Builderall, if you'll go to a site called pingdom.com, Pingdom, pingdom.com, you can actually set it up so that one of your sites, it can be any site that you want to in Builderall, you can assign it so that it checks that site all the time to see if it's up and running. And it will actually text message you and let you know if it's down. And the consistent number I get with Builderall, it tells me every week a summary of how much I've been up and how much I've been down. And most weeks it's 100% up. Every once in a while, I get 99.9% up, but it's never gone down below 99.9%. And I watch it like a hawk.
Well, that's great news. So that helps a lot. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate what you're doing for us. I am a trainer as well in what I do, and your thorough explanation and treating us all, from the very beginning of remedial and building us is wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Any other questions, you guys? You've had some fabulous questions tonight. I'm so proud of all of you. Couldn't be prouder if you were my own children. Simone, were you going to say something?
Sorry, just one more question. It's related to the e-commerce. Do you actually have a real date or a real, at least, update on it? Is it coming in March or?
I don't have a real date. I don't have a real date. Again, that one's a big one because it's anytime you put an e-commerce platform together, it's just a big platform. There's a lot of things that need to be in place and working. So my best guess was give it 3 months at least. 3 months. Yeah.
Wow. So what should I do with the customers that I've been postponed the project like for a month already, just waiting for that? What should I do?
Yeah, I can't tell you for sure, Simone, because I've been in that situation too. So I would just continue to say it's still in development. It's not even being beta tested yet. So that will tell you it's just not close. So you can ask them to hang in there, or you can give them an option to satisfy them until you can get into the Builderall and then transfer everything to Builderall. But there's tons of options out there. I don't want to send you to a different platform, but
I know, but the question is it worth to use the e-commerce that we have now? Because I think as soon you have the new one, they're going to discontinue this.
They will, yeah. So, if you've got just a few products, yes, it's fine. Mm-hmm. If you've got, 25, 30, 40, 50 products, no. But if you've got maybe 5 t-shirt styles, then you're good to go. You can set up the e-commerce really fast, get it up and running and taking orders. But anything bigger than that, and then, shipping to multiple countries or multiple tax rates or, crazy stuff like that, then it gets hairy with this one. And you'll want to wait for the new one. But if it's just a simple e-commerce, don't let that hold you back. Get it in there and get it working. It won't take you long to build it. It's just not that hard to do. It took me longer to do the front end, what my front end page was going to look like, than I did to put the products in my e-commerce store.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Shirley.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys? All right. I'm going to call it a day. You guys did really, really good. And tomorrow we're going to work on our first sales funnel, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait to show you. And your homework for tonight. Now, we went through the entire Pixel Perfect Builder. So I want you to jump in there and play with some of those settings that maybe you haven't played with before. So create yourself a playground website and start playing with some of those settings. And tomorrow we'll jump in and actually build a funnel together. I want you a little bit familiar with that Pixel Perfect because we're going to do a lot of building. And I will not go super slow because building funnels is a lot of work. And if I have to explain every single click I'm doing, why am I putting this element here? Why did I right click and make that bold? Those types of things I'm not going to spend time teaching you. I'm going to spend time teaching you how to add pages, how to connect the pages, and how to create that funnel. Okay, so I want you in Pixel Perfect playing with it. So you don't have too many questions about all that element stuff. We'll be working strictly on the blueprints of those funnels, okay? Not that I won't answer a question, but I may table it to the end if I need to. All right? All right, guys.
Thank you very much. Look after that jaw of yours.
Okay. I will. I'm going to go take a nap.
All the best. Take care. Thanks for all the best, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Shirley. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a great one.
Look.